What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Iowa Archery Boys. My name is Billy, and today we're going to be taking you through my current setup with my bow, what I'm shooting, all the ins and outs of this current setup. I want to hear what you guys are running, what your bows are like, but yeah, let's get into it. Alright guys, so today I'm showing my current bow. This is the Hoyt Alpha X 30. I just purchased this bow last fall. It's been a couple of months now of shooting this bow. I recently had a Matthews Creed XS. I believe it was made in 2014, but it was time for an upgrade. So got this bow in the fall. I actually purchased it used. Super good condition when I bought it. Almost brand new. Got it at a very discounted price, bare bow. So decided to load it up with some good accessories, and I'll take you through some of those here today. Currently, I'm running the Spot Hogg Boonie sight. I initially had the Spot Hogg Fast Eddy. That was on my previous bow. I liked the sight. It had a little bit of looseness on the micro adjust when you opened it up. The whole housing kind of moved up and down a little bit. I wasn't a big fan of that. I was gonna transfer it over to this bow, but I decided I wanted to keep a full backup bow just in case anything were to ever happen, so it's ready at any notice. So all new components on this bow. Spot Hogg Boonie. It is a movable sight. It's got the vertical double pin. I really like the vertical pin. Having the two double pins has been pretty much a game changer for me. I really like that you're not just fixed on one distance. Primarily, I am a white-tailed deer hunter, so when you're in the stand, you got your sight set in at 20, deer walks in front, ends up moving out to more of that 30-yard range, you're pretty much covered between your first and your second pin, not having to adjust or move the sight on the go. But been a really big fan of this sight. It's very clean, sleek looking sight. I like how bright and wide the initial opening to the sight housing is. It looks really good when I pull it back. Pins are very bright. Been very happy with this sight overall. Next we'll move into the rest. I do have a QAD HDX. It is kind of their basic sight rest. Pretty much I think the lowest level that they have, but it's been a very good drop away rest for me. No issues, no fletching contact whatsoever. Simple, clean, effective, and that's pretty much what I'm going for in the stand. So the next thing we'll go to the stabilizers. I have a 8-inch front bar and a 6-inch rear bar. These guys are Trophy Ridge. I wanted something a little bit cheaper because I was gonna buy two of them. This was a very reasonable price. I like this stabilizer a lot. It's a little bit heavier, on the heavier side, which makes the whole bow a little bit heavier, but overall I've been really happy with it. This is the first time I've used an actual rear kicker. As soon as I put that thing on, the bow just immediately balanced out a little bit better. So if you've ever considered a rear kicker, haven't used one before, I would highly suggest it. It's been a big game changer. I think it's just allowed me to push the amount of distance that I'm shooting this bow at a comfortable level and really get to, dialed in 50, 60, 70 yards. Next, we'll move on to the strings. I just have the stock strings on it here. Have not switched out the strings. That is something I'm probably looking into eventually when I get my bow press, but as of right now, stock strings. I have a Hamskea Raptor peep on here. I really like this guy. I didn't think that the peep would make a huge difference, but for 20 bucks, this thing has been awesome in terms of how confident, how my focus works when I'm zoning in on the target. It really just seems to cut down on all the glare. You don't really know how much glare you have until you put one of these things on, and it just becomes so much easier to zoom in on that target and just be steady and focus with the peep lining up with the housing and then onto your target. Big fan of this one. I know it's a popular peep. I had a cheaper peep before. It was much smaller, and as soon as I put this thing on, I just noticed a huge difference. So would highly recommend this guy. The last thing I'll talk about here is the Bowmar nose button. So I've been a kisser button guy for a long time. I had put one on this when I bought this bow. It ended up flying off twice. I lost 2 kisser buttons for whatever reason. I don't know. It just wasn't clamped down hard enough. But after that, I was kind of looking into some different options. Found the nose button and figured I'd give it a shot. So as soon as I put it on, it took a little bit of time to get used to, but it's been really good. I've been very surprised with how much of a difference it makes when you're anchoring in, and just how much pressure I was putting on my kisser before, and I didn't really realize it. For this guy, as you pull into the draw length, as you anchor in, that nose just comes down slightly, and as soon as you kind of feel the tip of your nose on this button, it's pointing, so you're gonna know when you hit it. But it's very light pressure. It keeps off the face tension as you're into your anchor points, and just allows everything to be much lighter. I feel like I'm not pressing in as much as I used to, and that's not something I really thought about before. It was focusing on the target, lean in a little bit, but now it's just enough pressure on the nose to the button, and that just makes everything feel a little bit more relaxed. So I've been very impressed with it. I would highly recommend also checking it out. If you don't like it, go back to, I know a lot of guys just do bear string or a kisser button. I like having that anchor point, but yeah, it's been good so far. So currently I'm running this at 27 3/4 of an inch draw length. I like this bow here because the mods on this model come in 1/4 inch increments. So I've been able to tweak around and find, my perfect draw length for this bow. I've gone up to 28, I've gone down to 27.5, 27.25, just feeling it out and seeing how it actually changes the way that you lock in on the target. And I probably prefer a little bit more of a longer draw length than I'm supposed to, only because I like the long, slow float a little bit more than the shorter draw length where everything's a little bit more rigid. It just feels a little bit too jerky for me. And if I have something where I feel a little bit more relaxed and it's moving around just a little bit but slower, I can control that a little bit more, because I don't think you're never going to eliminate any of the float. You're going to have some. So I'd rather have it a little bit longer, a little bit slower. So I settled in at 27 3/4, been really liking that. I am running it at 65 pounds right now. I'd like to get up to 70 at some point, but it's tough when you're a whitetail hunter and you're in the stand, any condition. Could be 70 degrees, could be 20 degrees and snowing. And I had a couple of sits this last year where it was 20 degrees and snowing. So I want to be able to comfortably hold that thing back in any situation without having to struggle. Do it very smoothly, do it very discreetly. So right now, 65 pounds. We'll see how the summer goes. If I feel more confident in it, I may start to bump it up a touch, but we'll see once we kind of get into the summer here. So I was going to go through some of my arrow setups, but I think I'm going to save that for another video. I have 2 different setups right now. I think I'm going to do a whole video on the different weights and how that affects speed, arrow drop, different distances, that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to kind of put that together. So I'll save the arrows for next time, and then I'll do a couple of reviews on the current releases that I'm using. I do have a finger button style release that I'm using right now, and then I recently just bought a hinge. So stay tuned for that. Watch me try and fail and figure out how to use a hinge, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun with that. I've never used a hinge before. I think from what I've read, it can really create a good break and surprise release, because I've had troubles with punching the trigger for a long time now. So, but anyway, let me know what you're running. Let me know what your current setup is. If you shot the Hoyt Alpha X30, what your thoughts are on it. I think it's a good bow. I mean, it's taken me a couple months to get settled in, but I think any bow that you get new, it's just different. So I shot a Matthews in the past. It's a Hoyt this year, and I like the way it balances. I like the way it feels in the hand, and we'll see if we can really get dialed this summer. But appreciate it. Drop a like, leave a comment, let me know what you're running. I appreciate the support. There'll be more videos to come, but until next time.